some of our favorite Disney memories for this year. Like
That's what
things
I'm
that we
thinking.
did. Like you talk about like the fantasy, like give
Yep,
share a story on the fantasy. I could share something about like one of our trips and
I like that. I like that a lot. Dude, I've had too many cookies today. Oh, it's the Idaho potato bowl. I thought my TV. Yep, the blue turf. Do. Go to Facebook and post. I guess that posted, and then post here.
Ricky got that popcorn bucket, man. I like popcorn buckets. They're a fun decoration.
She did get her popcorn bucket.
She did, yeah.
Yep, I got my little Mickey one, which I gotta put away here shortly, which is sad, but he'll come back next year. I didn't get the full season with him. Her line was long. My line wasn't that long to get that Mickey one.
I want to know about the haircut. Wasn't today supposed to be the haircut, or is that
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. I'd imagine it was today. I
It
guess
was today. If she's at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, everybody. We are hanging out and getting ready to answer your listener questions. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat.
Listener questions.
This is going to be the Christmas Day edition of listener questions. Ricky is at the Magic Kingdom, so she is not going to join us. Pam is she's back in Pittsburgh, though, so that's good news, moving in the right direction.
Yep. Rocking this new hat.
Oh, yeah, the Australia hat. I should have mine. Dang, mine's upstairs. Oh, well, I got the treasure.
It's all
good. Plus, I seriously have powdered sugar all over me because they've been making Christmas cookies today. Like, Paige got home late last night, and my favorite are like chocolate chips, but they put powdered sugar on top of them. And I was just talking to Bart at Disney Cruise Line like 10 minutes ago. And seriously, I was talking to him and I was eating one at the same time, and I inhaled and I like almost choked. He's like, "You okay?"
Gotta breathe through the nose first. That's always what sugar the beignets.
It's like a beignet, right? He's like, "Mike, you okay?" I'm like, dude, I was trying to sneak a piece of Christmas cookie here while you were running the card. He's like, "I thought I lost you there for a second." I'm like, "Nope, just one too many Christmas cookies."
Yeah, I want to live on a ship. So right now, man, I just got that itch from Disney Cruise Line.
How cool will that be if the Lions are in the Super Bowl, dude? You can watch it on. They got showed on Funnel Vision.
They would have to show it on Funnel Vision, right? Yeah,
I know.
I told Liz asked me because I messaged her that this morning. Like, I just had this crazy thought. Like, that's when the Super Bowl is, and I was like, that would be my luck. The Lions make the Super Bowl, and I'm on a ship. She's like, well, did not play the game. I'm like, oh, I'm sure they will on Funnel Vision.
Yeah. We'll talk about that on Friday's show because I got a story about that. Actually on my cruise. Okay, let's do the listener questions because I have some in the inbox, but we need new, fresh questions. Okay, so here we go.
We'll ask each other questions.
Yes, we will. All right, so this will be episode 2613.
Dude, the weather is so nasty today. It's like freezing rain and stuff. It's so gross.
It's just gray here, but it is warm. It's 52.
Oh, wow. It's cold here.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's supposed to be like now. I think this is not going to be below freezing until the rest of the year. Like here, it's going to be warm.
Hopefully, we get a warm up then.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right. Welcome to episode 2613 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. And Merry Christmas to you and Happy Hanukkah to everybody celebrating as well. What a glorious day. Lots of celebrations going on. And yes, we're not going to miss a show, even though it is a great holiday. We're going to have listener questions here for you. Maybe not a long show, but we wanted to check in and make sure the inbox was trimmed and taken care of. And I want to check in with my buddy Scotty G here on the holiday. Of course, Ricky, as we're recording, is at the Magic Kingdom securing a gingerbread house popcorn bucket. It has been secured. We saw the line. Then we saw her happily demonstrating strap around the neck, popcorn bucket on the hip, smile on the face. She's rocking the gingerbread house popcorn bucket. But Scott and I are here. Pam Forrester back in Pittsburgh. Good news, moving in the right direction. We're so happy for Steve. So the season is going well. Scotty G joining us from Must See Adventures out in East Lansing, Michigan. Scott, Merry Christmas. What's up?
Merry Christmas, Mike. Man, just like I was just thinking about you. Like, did you get your chicken wings that you were craving yesterday? Like alternative, right? Because you go to Wing Zone or what? I can't remember what it was.
Wingstop.
Wing Stop, yes.
Yes.
There's probably is a Wing Zone. Let's be real. There's
Oh,
probably
yes.
tons of wing places.
Yeah, we have St. Louis pizza and wings. They're pretty good, but yeah, Wingstop, but nothing tops Ponderosa, as you will hear on tomorrow's show if you missed it Sunday night. Ponderosa
Yeah,
was
so
the best.
hope you're having a great Christmas with friends. It's funny, like Christmas is like the big holiday, right? But like I think a lot of us, some of our biggest celebrations are like that weekend before or on Christmas Eve. So for us, like we try to focus on like our family, like my immediate family. Like today, we take our time waking up and make sure Santa came and all this stuff, and just have a relaxing morning, and it's just perfect. So hope everyone's having a great holiday today, because Hanukkah's happening too. So just happy holidays to everyone on this December 25th.
That's right. Hopefully everybody's just chilling out today. Funny story though. And this could happen again. I don't know if it's like this, if you've ever had this, but Christmas night. Okay, so we're not talking Christmas Eve like last night, but this evening, Christmas night. Like things kind of wind down around here. We do all of our celebrations on Christmas Eve with the in-laws. Then Christmas morning, we get up and exchange our gifts here at the house. And my dad sometimes comes over. Depends on the NFL schedule. If he's in town, he will be this year. It looks like they play the Jets Sunday, so I think he'll be here. So he'll come over, see us, and then we'll open our gifts. And then it's kind of really for us. Then we'll go over to my in-laws again later in the day. But we're usually done by like 3. Kind of Christmas winds down for us like in the afternoon. But then usually the girls want to go get something to eat like tonight, like Christmas Day night. And the thing is, everything's closed. And I remember one year they were just whining because like they wanted to get something, like they didn't want to eat anything in the house for some reason. We had all these good leftovers, like we had wing leftovers. We had stuff to make sandwiches, but no, they wanted to go have McDonald's or nothing was open. I mean, it was the biggest first world problem in the history. There was like 4 or 5 years ago. I couldn't believe, like, we could not find a place that was open. I mean, come on now. One night a year. I just remember clear as day. I don't know if you've ever had this situation. I'm like, we have a house.
I have a tradition on
What do you
Christmas Day. Some of our friends might know this that are listening, but I do go to McDonald's every single Christmas Day.
Is it open no Christmas night?
There's like a couple in the town. Like you have to be like smart about it. Like I've already started like doing my research, looking at like hours.
Tell me about this.
But yeah, it happened one year. So in 2011, I think 2010, we had like a huge ice storm in Lansing, and my house was without power for over a week, right? Or the week of Christmas. So like I stayed at my in-laws. We just basically moved in. My parents still had no power, but they were just grinding through it. I told them they could come stay with my in-laws too, but no, they didn't want to. And love my in-laws, but man, was I tired of them at this point, like living for them with a week is during the holidays. I mean, it was so great that they took us in, Emily was young, but I just remember that Christmas night, I was like, man, I'm just so over being here. They had another Christmas that was happening. So I left, went for a drive, and I found a McDonald's that was open that had some Wi-Fi. So I told my parents, come on over. There's heat, there's Wi-Fi, there's food. I know you guys have no internet. So we went to McDonald's in Okemos, and that I told you this on the live show. Like once you do something once, like in my mom's Gardner family, it's a tradition. So then the next year we had to go to McDonald's for dinner. And that didn't last too long with my mom, but I was like, that became my thing. So like I go to McDonald's, as embarrassing as that is on Christmas night. It's just something about after all that's done, just like greasy cheeseburger and fries and a Coke sounds so good.
Dude, I might start that tradition in 2024 in honor of the gardeners. If we could find one, because I'd have paid $20 for a.
It's hard to find one. One year, I think it was like 22. Like I could not find one. I drove, my brother, Liz, and Emily, we drove all over town, could not find one. So like I'm more on my game now, trying to locate one that's
our girls were. I was like, seriously, there's nothing. We want to have something to eat. I'm like, there is nothing open. I can't. Like they're all dark. What do you want me to do? Like there's nothing. I mean, we're driving because it's called Mid River Small Drive, dude. It's like every town's got it. Like every fast food place is on this drive, right? I mean, and it's just dark. And I'm like, what What do you mean, do rob the place? There's not
It
person.
is interesting going for those drives. Like, I've always found that interesting. Like, the mall is dark, it's empty. It's like, because it gets dark so early this time of year, right? So it's like it's 5 p.m. and like it's just dark. All these businesses that have all these lights. Like, you're right. It's so funny, isn't it? You will find like some Chinese restaurants that are open on Christmas Day too, though. So that's another.
See, they don't like Chinese food. They don't like. They're so picky. Oh, anyway. So
I hear you. I know we're gonna go to the list of questions, but I hear you. Like, you're just kind of like over all the holiday stuff. You had all these things. You just want to go out and like get some trash fast food. You know, you just need
that's
it.
what they were. But I was like, dude, just make a turkey sandwich. Seriously, you'll live till the 26th. You'll be fine. You know, come on now. But real quick, shout out to Mel, one of our listeners. She's from Australia, currently in London, has been on the most wonderful vacation. I've enjoyed watching it on the social media. Scott is rocking the cap that she sent. Scott, I have my cap upstairs. I was just telling Scott before we start recording, I've had powdered sugar everywhere on me today. So actually I've been wearing it, but it's been on and off. Because the girls have been making Christmas cookies today, and my whole studio is covered with powdered sugar because the Christmas cookies have matriculated into the studio. But the Tim Tams that Mel sent my way, Scott didn't send those up your way, but almost gone.
Fine.
Mallory has been sneaking into them. I haven't gotten the full load of the Tim Tams. Mallory loves those things. So I'm trying to keep them away from her. And the little caramel, I think they're koalas. I don't know. They taste so good.
Yeah.
They're gone. So this.
Do you remember like a time when Emily was all about like Australian like animals, like the wallabies and all that? So this hat would just took me back to that time. I mean, Emily still loves Australia and we still want to go as a family, but like this just took me back to like she wrote that "I Want to Be a Wallaby" song. I don't know if you remember that, like it was like insane. So
on Friday, we're going to kind of just shoot the breeze about Disney vacations and why we love them so much. We got to tell the story. Don't let us forget about Donate. We got to tell that story, okay? Because our listeners,
we probably have before, but yeah, we can bring it back.
Not because Donate's picture came up on my phone today, just randomly. I cracked up. Okay,
so Donate can make an appearance on the.
Yeah, Donate was awesome. Donate over at Animal Kingdom. All right, so first question is from. Let me go to the inbox here. It's from S. Claus.
Oh, S. Claus.
From the N poll. I don't know what that's all about, but asking, dear BOGP, love the show. Never miss a broadcast except for late December. Every once in a while, get busy, but other than that, never miss a show. And the factory.
Well, hopefully they don't miss this one.
I hope so. Hope not. They say they blast it out in the factory as they make their product. That's cool. All right. So S. Claus asks, have you ever gotten a gift that is related to Disney for Christmas? Or what is your favorite Christmas memory at a Disney destination?
Wow.
Thank you. Love the show. Oh, thank you, S. Claus. All right. So what about you, Scott?
I get all sorts of Disney stuff for Christmas. That is like my brand these last like 12 to 14 years. Like I just became obsessed with Disney on our first trip, right? And now we do the podcast and all this other stuff. So I get plenty of stuff. And it's funny, like the people like my dad, like it's just funny watching my dad shop on his own now, you know, like he'll just come up with the most random Disney thing ever. I'm like, how did you even like find this, you know? Like, but he just thinks I'm gonna like it, right? Because it's Mickey Mouse, it's branded, and like he'll sometimes go on eBay and find like old like Disney Christmas ornaments, you know.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it is awesome. So he gets me a lot of like retro Disney stuff, which I think is awesome. Because like you and me, but we both love that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, I get all sorts of Disney stuff. Sometimes I get like, I remember I got like that Life magazine or Time magazine with Walt on the cover, you know, like one Christmas and all this stuff. I get Disney books all the time. So like, yeah, I get lots of Disney stuff, and I always have a Disney gift card on my Christmas list as well. You know, that suits me very well. Like, doesn't matter what size it is, you know, it will get used by me eventually.
That's what I was gonna say. My go-to for anybody that doesn't know, because like again, we talked about this on the live call-in show Sunday night, which you'll hear again. It was a random show that you'll hear on the feed tomorrow that was from Sunday night. So make sure you don't miss it, because we talk Ponderosa wings, we talk about our Christmas traditions, but Disney gift cards come my way if anybody's at all unsure about what to get me for my birthday, late Thanksgiving or late November and Christmas, because it comes in clutch, right? Because right after Christmas, I always go down for marathon weekend. Now I go to Disneyland right after that. So it's always spent on, your sweatshirt or, whatever you're going to get, a hoodie, well, I mean, whatever food for marathon weekend. It is always
It
appreciated.
spends well, doesn't it, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Well, because I mean, what it does, it turns into fun money, right? I mean, because I probably wouldn't buy something, but I'm like, well, this is a Christmas gift for my in-laws, or this is a Christmas gift from my brother and sister-in-law, and then I, always take a picture of it and say always say thanks for the Christmas gift,
See, I like how you do it because you tend to not. You spend that on something and you're thinking about it, like, oh, like my brother-in-law got me this, so yeah, I'm gonna
it's
get
always
this
like
for
that.
this.
That's
See,
it.
I'm bad about that because you know me, I buy a lot of Disney gift cards before a trip, and like you pay down the room charges with it, so then it just gets bundled in with that, and then like I don't think of like a specific thing someone got me. So maybe I should do that more with like my gifts and use it on specific items so I can remember, like, oh hey, like my dad got me this for my birthday with that gift card. I like that strategy.
Well, it's two different strategies. I mean, like, for example, in the clubhouse over on our Discord server, we have that whole channel that's about travel hacks and stuff. And people are always posting, now you can get $500 worth of Disney gift cards for $430. And then you can get, X amount of savings if
Yep.
you use this kind of card. And you can really, if you multiply that over getting, 4 or 5 of these, you can save like $100. And that's such a tremendous amount of savings, but it takes a certain level of discipline to take advantage of that. But if you do and you repeat that, you can save a lot of money. And see, I don't have
What
the
I do
discipline
now.
to do it. You do. I mean, it's the difference between us. Like, you do that kind of stuff. So many people do Cody's over there, a lot of folks, but that's, you just kind of see it as like, you're like I mean, you got spreadsheets, you're kind of like the accounting kind of person. I just kind of go as I go. I wish I was more like that. This is my personality. All right. We got a question from Glim over on YouTube. How far in advance should I book a Disney cruise? Also, how long does your cruise level last? We went on a Disney cruise about 5 years ago.
Oh, that's an easy one to answer about your cruise level, right, Mike? You want to give that answer first?
Well, so they just changed that last year, right? And isn't it like you hang on to it for 5? Wasn't it 5 years? I haven't paid attention that close.
I thought your cruise level lasts like forever, doesn't it? Or did that
No,
change?
no, no, no.
Oh, all right. Well, good
Yeah,
thing I didn't answer it.
yeah, no. They changed it last year. If you don't sail within 5 years, you lose your status, I believe.
Oh,
Yep, you got to sail
okay.
every 5 years, or else even if you're like platinum, you go back to zip.
Interesting. Okay, good to
They
know.
got you. Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Good thing I did answer that question. I was like, oh yeah, that's an easy one. Like it
Yeah, I
doesn't
know,
go
'cause
away.
people are up in arms, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 years. So make sure you double check that. But I'm pretty sure it's like every 5 years if you don't. Because I had to watch it for Paige, because Paige is, I want to say
Yeah,
she's gold, and she's got to watch
you earn
it.
those statuses. You don't want to lose those for
Yeah,
sure.
you don't want to lose that. And obviously, how far in advance should you book it? It's always best to book a Disney cruise as far in advance as possible, because you're going to get the best price. You just got to think of Disney cruise, and any cruise, honestly, is supply and demand, right? There's X amount of staterooms on a ship, and the more staterooms that are available, the least they're going to cost. Like it, and then say there's 2 staterooms left on a cruise, it's almost full. Those staterooms are in high demand. It's going to be very expensive. So you want to get in on it when there's tons of staterooms left. The prices will be lower, and plus you'll have more choices for where you want to stay in every category.
Yep.
Inventory is better, and you got more options. So book as far in advance as you can.
I'll say the most painful part about that is just waiting. Then you gotta wait a long time. But that's why you should always have 2 or 3 cruises booked at one time, right?
But I mean, okay, so let's do the reverse psychology on that too. There's also an advantage to booking last minute, right, Scott?
There is. Yeah. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that, but
Oh, we can, because I mean, but
some
we
cruises
never
don't
talk
sell
about
as well.
that, really. Yeah, we never talk about that, but you can book last minute and save a lot of money too. But I mean, there are restrictions.
There are restrictions, and some cruises just don't sell as well. I think some out of Galveston might not, Mike. You might be more in tune to that. I think you'll see this on those, but depending on the time of year, the itinerary, you might be able to find what they call like a guaranteed um class room. So like for instance, I'll give me as an example. I just booked a veranda guaranteed in February. And if you look at the ship, there's a lot of rooms available, right? So I think that's why they're just not selling the staterooms that they thought they would. So they put out this offer where like, well, we'll guarantee you on the ship in this category, like a veranda, but we're not going to tell you what the stateroom is. And there's all these restrictions, right? You have to pay in full at the time. And usually you would have to pay in full anyway, I think, if you're that close to the sailing. but you have to pay in full. You can't make changes to the reservation, so you got to make sure like who's sailing with you is going to be the one sailing. You got to have their date of birth and no changes, no cancellations. But my thought is if you're booking that close, oh, am I gone?
No, you're still here. You're still here.
Oh, okay. If you're booking that close to your sail date, then you're pretty much committed to sailing on that cruise, you know, and there will be some cost savings to that, right? Like, so you just look for guaranteed sailing, and there'll be some restrictions, and you'll see maybe it's like 10% lower than if you booked your own room. But that's only recommended like if you're really committed and you know you're going to go last minute. But we always recommend just booking early. It's the safer route to go.
Yeah, it's definitely safer to book it out, you know, as far in advance as you can. Just write it out, because then you can make changes. If you need to change your sale date, you're good. If you need to cancel, you can cancel up to 90 days in advance if the sailing's less than 7 days, up to 120 days if it's more than 7. But yeah, I mean, you can get a steal on those guaranteed with restriction cabins. I mean, they are a great deal for Disney Cruise Line. But I mean, once you pay in full, you're locked in. You just you're going. I mean, like, you are committed. But I mean, you know, if you book a cruise 95 times out of 100, you're going anyway.
Yeah.
So
I've done both, and this isn't the first time I've done it. I did one 2 days before sailing once.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
because
great for you.
they want to. I mean, that cruise is going to leave no matter what, right? So if they can try to entice someone with like a 10%, 15% off, like they don't really disclose what the percentage is, but you can kind of figure it out. But that's safe. But again, you got to deal with all those restrictions, and that might be challenging for some.
All right, we got a question from Craig in the inbox. He says, "Hey, hope everything is going well for you. Let's see here. We're doing some planning for vacations in 2025, and I've always had a desire to check out Walt Disney World during the Christmas theming and check out a ticketed event at the Magic Kingdom. How do people go about planning this? Does Disney announce when the theming is up, the day after Thanksgiving versus mid-December? Are there announced dates or days of the week for when they will have the Magic Kingdom parties? If not, when do they typically announce? Is it too far out to book the resorts? Thanks, Craig." All right, so we're obviously wrapping up the holiday season here in 2024. We're looking forward to this year, this time for next year in 2025. So to book the resorts, you can book those now. That's open for right now, especially if you want to book a place like the Fort. You want to book Wilderness Lodge, those Grand Floridian. You want to get those as soon as possible. Places like Pop Century, Coronado, name your other resorts. You're not going to have as much of a trouble, but there are certain resorts that are high demand, like those ones I just mentioned for the holidays. You want to get those early.
And
Scott,
not to interrupt, Mike,
go ahead.
I'd argue like our last question with cruise line. I feel like you almost have to do that way with Walt Disney World resort rooms now. Like, if you know, like there's a date you want, you got to book it now, because I'm looking at October for 2025, and like the room availability is like lower than I expected. So you got to get on that when you're thinking about it for sure.
You do. And again, the whole thing is, and I mean, I know money is what it is, right? I mean, money's tight around here, trust me. But when you put down, like if you're doing a package where you got to have tickets in a room together, it's $200, but it's totally refundable until 30 days before travel. So you're not going to be out anything by locking in like prime dates. So if you want to be down there, say, you know, the first week of December, and you want to stay at a prime hotel, say you want to be at the Wilderness Lodge, you know, lock in a week at Wilderness Lodge now, and just you have it, you're guaranteed it. And if plans change, you know, say in July because your kid's got a sporting event, cancel or move it. You know, you can do either, and you're not out any money, period. But you've got the guarantee that you have like the sweetest spot, or the Grand Floridian, wherever you want to be, Fort Wilderness. You can do whatever you want, but now is the time to act. It's not when you're like, oh man, it's September, you know, and I'm like, oh, we should do a Christmas trip, because then all the people, because the thing is, and I mean, I'm not saying this to be mean, but like Disney people, like that's us, right? I mean, I'm one of them, right? I'm doing a Disney podcast. We're Disney people. You like planners, and the thing is, like, I'm a Disney person, but I'm not a planner as much as like the other Disney. Like, there's a subset of Disney people that are super uber planners that are on this. So you have to be not only a Disney person, but in the subset that are thinking ahead. And Craig is thinking ahead, right? But you gotta act. You got to act now if you want to get a prime spot, because you know that there are people that are acting. So now his question though about when they announce this, I think they typically will announce like Christmas stuff, like isn't it usually like in May
Yeah,
sometimes.
so this year I think it was like in June/July because I just looked and I remember I was in Europe when I bought my Christmas very merry ticket. It was I just looked because I keep emails of things. It was July 2nd when I purchased my
Such a
ticket. So they
weird
probably
time.
announced it like a couple weeks before then. What'd you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, such a weird time when you
It's
think
such a
about it,
weird.
like, let's announce Christmas right before the 4th of July.
I know it's so weird. So yeah, I would say it was like late June to early July is when they announced it.
Yeah, so that's when you're gonna get that, and the theming goes up. So the Christmas stuff will go up a few days after the Halloween stuff goes down. So I would say it typically goes, and it doesn't go up like immediately, but it'll go up in the parks first, then the resorts. So it usually goes up like that first week of November, and you can be safe around there.
For sure. Now, some of the resorts might not be fully, right? So, like, the Magic Kingdom tree typically goes up right after like Halloween, I'd say, like those first couple days, like Mike is saying. But like the Fort Wilderness Lodge, I'm not Fort, the Wilderness Lodge tree might be like a couple weeks after. So just kind of note that, like, you might be, if that's something that you're looking at, like you're wanting to stay there, you might want to wait till closer to like Thanksgiving time for sure.
Yeah, I mean the crowds are gonna build, but also the energy builds, and with good touring strategy, you're gonna be fine. Like you get the full experience if you wait a little bit, I think. All right, Jessica, one of our great listeners who's been with us forever over on Facebook, tuned in live. She says, just found out Festival of the Arts falls on our dates and we've never been. Very excited and booked a dining package to see the Broadway stars. Not really a question here, but Scott, we've both been to Festival of the Arts a couple of times at least. What's your favorite thing about Festival of the Arts? I think it's a great festival over at Epcot.
It is a great festival, and I love art. I have Disney art all over my house, and unfortunately, I don't go to this festival as much because of like the Run Disney calendar.
Yeah.
It's like
No,
it
but
starts
not the-
after Marathon Weekend and ends before Princess, and like usually I'm gonna go to one of those two race weekends, but I have been fortunate to go a couple times. And yeah, I just love seeing the art around. Like the sidewalk chalk is one I think a lot of people talk about, right? You'll see these live artists just like in the walkway to World Showcase. I'm sure it has a name. I don't know why I always call it like in my family, we just kind of call things our own things sometimes. And I call that the walkway to World Showcase.
the connector.
Thank you. The connector. Yeah. But I just love they'll have like these areas roped off, and it makes you have like Mary Poppins a little bit when like Bert and the family like jump into the painting. You just see like an artist out there, and they're like
Oh,
doing
yeah.
this beautiful thing, and like sometimes they'll do these like cool like 3D illusion pieces. Like I got this one of Joe Gardner that just looks awesome. He just looks like he's right there from the movie Soul, and that's one of my favorite things. Just seeing the art. There's like kiosks like in World Showcase, like festival booths that you'd see at all the other festivals where artists are just showcasing their Disney art. And as Disney fans as we are, like we just soak that up, right? Like I was like, I just worry, like, how am I going to get some of this stuff home? So I definitely buy some smaller pieces with them there, but they have gigantic canvases of art too. It's just, if anything, it's just fun to look at and just be amazed by their talents.
Along with that, like one of I love the sidewalk chalk art. For one thing, is that it's temporary and that it is so stinking good. I'm like, why would you create something this amazing on the ground that when it rains or
It's gone.
whatever, it'd be gone? Like it's that great. Like you should be doing this on a canvas and like cover it up so it's preserved forever. It's amazing. And they're like laboring in the sun. It's hot, and it's stunning to me. But also, you mentioned that the art you can take home. I remember that there were some artists displaying their wares back in World Showcase, kind of back between like around Morocco ish. And they had, you can kind of thumb through their art there. And I love seeing, and it's just like you, the stuff that you have on display at your house, I believe, is kind of just the art that is art around the kind of the resorts of Walt Disney
Yes.
World. It's like an art piece of Old Key West or an art piece of Caribbean Beach or stuff like that. And I think that really hits with our listeners, with our audience, right? Because it takes you back to like I remember, staying at Old Key West one time with your family in a 2-bedroom before a podcast cruise. And like if I had that art piece, I can make many connections with that every time I'd see it in the office. It reminded me of that trip. It would remind me of just, the vibe of getting it at the Festival of the Arts, that trip. I think art does that. It makes connections to a time and a place. Plus,
Yeah.
Festival of the Arts has some of the best little snacky foods too. It's really good.
Art, like artistic type of food, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of
sure,
what they're
well,
going for.
yeah.
Yeah, another great. I like that you talked about the resort art because we have a lot of that in our house, and a lot of times the artists will be there too, so you can like actually chat with them. And we do. I think we have like 8 or 9 of the resorts throughout our house, and the artist we go with the same artist every time. His name is Larry Dotson. You can like look him up. He's really talented, and he was there one year. So we bought like 4 pieces from him, I remember, and he signed all of them. He said like to Elizabeth, Scott, and Emily, and like signed like the date and year, which I thought was cool. Like didn't charge us any more for the piece, and we actually got him to sign some of the art, and we showed him photos of his art in our house, and he was just like cracking up, loving it. But that's another cool thing too. You can actually meet the artist while you're there. So neat.
And the kids, I think, really get a kick out of that too. And like the kids, there's some like active art, like where the kids can get in and like do like basically like a extra cycle, and the art splatters as they ride faster. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
the Figment piece too, like where you can like the paint by number thing they have
yes,
up there too. Yeah.
yes, they give you the little sponge
Mhm.
paintbrush, and you got to color in your little pixel.
So I'm like, I am going to be there like a day before, like cruise. Going back to the cruise, like another rule, yeah, book early and always arrive a day before your ship itinerary. So that last minute when I just booked, I'm going to be there the day before, and I'm like,
Yeah, but
dang,
you're in a pickle though because you don't have a ticket.
I know. And I was like, I would love to go to Festival of Arts though, but like I
So
don't want to buy a 1-day ticket
here-
necessarily.
here's my status. This is just turning into like, it's Christmas week, right? We're just shooting the bull here this week because nobody's really working, and that's kind of how we are here in the podcast. Ricky's at the Magic Kingdom, so Bam's not here, so we're just kids are away. We're just playing. So I was in a pickle, right, with my ticket situation. I'm in between APs, and I'm like, God, I was looking at everything, right? And so we're going down in March for the Give Kids a World fundraiser because we're gonna do the 6-hour live show, and I'll be down in July for the podcast cruise. And I know I'll probably go at least some other time before marathon weekend. So I'm like, God, I didn't want to be like you. Like, I didn't want to be without a ticket because, like, when I go down in March, I might want to drop into a park to get something, for like,
Yeah.
plus, do I want to get an AP discounted room? Because I know I'll be staying at World while I'm there the couple of nights. And so in July, I want an AP room, dude. So I pulled the trigger. I got a 10-day hopper instead. Well, because the thing was, like, when I went to buy a 4-day hopper for marathon weekend, I was like, dang, a 4-day hopper is so expensive. So then I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to get a 10-day hopper. And then when I get there, I'm just going to upgrade it
Just
to an
upgrade
AP.
it. Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm using my Disney Visa rewards points. I have enough rewards points to pay for my AP. So
Nice.
I'm looking at it as it's play money. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I could use it. I mean, a responsible person would use that to pay down my Coronado Springs room. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to use my
Right.
credit card to pay for that. So
Do you think here's a listener question because I'm a listener. Do you think your girls then are going to go to the parks over the cruise then or not?
no,
Like, will
probably
they get
not.
a ticket?
No, see,
Okay.
probably not. That's the thing, is we probably won't go to the parks. But if, say there's like a popcorn bucket, I could hop into the studios, buy a popcorn bucket, and pop
There you
out.
go.
I
I like
see.
it.
I don't know, because like when we went because again, if the girls go, then it's a fortune for like one day.
I know.
And
I know.
they're totally fine at this point not going to the parks because, like, last summer we went down, we booked Coronado, we had a pool day, or no, we booked Old Key West, and we just swam at Old Key West. We went to Disney Springs, we saw the drone show at Disney Springs. Perfect day. Had dinner at Splitsville. Nobody cared.
A great day.
It was great. They chilled. Yeah, but I mean, like, I figure for me, it's a business expense.
It's just funny. I think we talk about this all the time. Like the only time you really have that itch to go to a park is when you don't have a ticket. Like
Yeah,
if you had an annual pass, you'd be like, oh yeah, let's have a resort day. Like we don't have to go to the parks, but
yeah.
when you don't have it, that's when you really want it.
I mean, I couldn't see spending like, I know you were in this exact same thing,
Yeah.
right? I was like, dude, am I going to drop like $700 and when I leave marathon weekend, my ticket's gone. Like,
Yeah. It's sad. I had to make the tough
I
decision.
know. Like I almost did it, but I'm like, man, it's a tough call with those Magic Your Way tickets.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm committed, right? Because I bought a 10-day. So now I have to upgrade. But I mean, it'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. And you've already gotten rid of like a lot of that expense by doing a 10-day instead of a 4-day, right? Like you've done a lot of upfront cost for that. So that's good.
Yeah. I paid $900 for that sucker. 10-day hopper. Whew.
Times 4.
Well, not times 4 because I'm the only one getting.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying for those families. Ticket prices are seriously expensive, but it's so good. It's so fun.
Times 4 this dude. You almost gave me a heart attack. No. All right, back to Lydia's got a question here from Nashville, where my Mizzou Tigers will be next week playing the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Music City Bowl. Hey, BOGP crew, my husband and I are meeting friends in Orlando in January. And are headed to the parks for a couple of days on the 8th and the 9th. My question is about transportation since the 5K takes place on the 9th. We'll be staying off site and are planning on taking an Uber to Epcot on the 9th. Do any of the roads close for the 5K? Does transportation onto property become a hassle? I've heard you guys talk about challenges getting onto property and using cars during race weekends. I'd appreciate any insight and advice you can offer to help us manage our morning and help it go smoothly. Thanks for everything you do, Lydia in Nashville. So, Scott, you rent a car. So, 5K does take place in Epcot during marathon weekend. It actually totally takes place in Epcot, but you drive. So, what advice do you have for Lydia for getting around that morning?
So my advice for Lydia is like I wouldn't sweat it too much because it is the 5K. Epcot is the focal point of the 5K. The race starts so early, right? So it's a 5K that starts at 5:30, and there is no time constraint. So like it might take some people like a couple hours to do. So say the race is wrapping up by 2:30, but the road closures should be done by then. It's just the road closures around that area. So I say you're fine because Epcot's probably not going to open till like 9 anyway that day. So I personally think, Mike, and you can chime in. I think they're going to be fine the day of the 5K because most of that race stuff and the road closures will be done by the time they get there for park opening.
Yeah, the day you got to really watch is Saturday and Sunday. It's
Mhm.
half and especially the full. That's when it becomes a nightmare for people driving around property. But yeah, the 5K should be good. I would
Yeah,
totally.
because it looks like only 8th and 9th were the days they were worried about. So yeah, good call out though. They do go beyond that, like the half marathon and marathon day in particular, like those are nightmares.
Yeah,
Like
because
you
when
almost
you're
want to like
running,
park at a resort or stay on property and then just take a bus somewhere. Like I would almost avoid driving those days, honestly.
because we've both done the full, and we've done dopey, and I mean, as miserable as you are while you're out there running, like you run past just people like in
So
gridlock. You're just
yeah,
like,
I don't know if I ever told you this last year. Our friend Georgia, he didn't actually run dopey, but he was there. And he said he saw you like on the course, like he was like on a bus going to Animal Kingdom or something, and he saw you like running.
hating life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
He was like, oh, because he would know. He's done dopey plenty of
oh
times, so
yeah.
he knew.
Last year I remember crying because that song Next Thing You Know came on, which is like my song for Mallory. Dude, I remember that song came on at like mile 21 and I was just hating life, and I'm just like, oh, stop.
That was so
I was
wet.
crying.
It was so rainy. Remember
Oh,
that downpour that happened? Oh,
dude, oh, good. Thanks. Welcome to my nightmare again tonight. Oh, I just almost fell out of my chair. You're killing me. All right, we have another question
it's
for
Christmas. It's all right. Like you had a little spiky eggnog there, Mike.
Hey, we gotta call Steve and do the Christmas shot, I think, tonight.
Oh yes.
Maybe we can do that. All right, Tiffany. I got to meet Tiffany on the Disney Treasure. She was sailing with me. We got a picture from Long
Oh,
Island.
awesome.
It was fun. She says, "Hey, Mike, this is Tiffany from New York, and I met you on the Disney Treasure last week. It was so nice finally meeting you after listening for so many years. Question: I'm a seasoned Walt Disney World traveler, DVC member, but have never done New Year's Eve. My daughter, who's 15, asked to do this as it's on her bucket list. So we're headed down this year from December 29th to January 3rd, and we're staying at Coronado Springs.
Ooh,
Smooth jazz guy at Maya Grill has to be on the agenda. Awesome. My
absolutely
question:
yes.
we're doing Magic Kingdom for New Year's Eve. Daughter requested we be at Magic Kingdom on New Year's Eve. I know the park can reach capacity. What time do you think we should be there in the morning? Would it be too late if we did an early breakfast at Ohana's around 9 and then go right there? I figured that way we can skip lunch. I already have a Crystal Palace reservation for dinner at Magic Kingdom. Okay. Well, I just gave you another ding there because that is
Yeah.
definitely Scotty G approved.
Yes.
Any other tips
And a
during
great move to have on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, 100%. That is a baller move on New Year's Eve right there. Crystal Palace, New Year's Eve, Magic Kingdom, boom, 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 win, win, win. Also, we usually do park hoppers, but I'm debating whether whether they'll get used with park capacity during this busy time. Thoughts? Thanks for all you, Pam, Ricky, and Scott do for the Disney fans and community. Thanks. And she says, "Go Bills." They're in the AFC, so you're good. So,
The Bills have always been my AFC team.
okay,
Like
good.
when you had like a struggling Lions team your whole life, like I needed an AFC team. So and I always picked the Bills in Tecmo Bowl. So Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly, those are my guys.
God, I remember when they lost those 4 in a row, 4 years.
Yeah. I was probably my fault.
Yeah. What Norwood was the kicker?
Scott
Wasn't
Norwood.
he?
I mean, that
Yeah.
was a hard kick. He gets a lot of like crap, man, but that was a hard kick still, though.
We're old. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's get back here. Okay. So you're right. Epcot, you don't People always worry about Epcot on New Year's Eve. You don't have to worry about capacity there. You're going to get in. But Magic Kingdom will close on New Year's Eve for capacity, but it usually reopens. But I would say you're probably safe to go to Ohana and still get in early. Usually
I
it
would say
closes
so
like
too.
mid-morning is when it usually closes for capacity, like 10 or 11.
Yeah, I would say so too. Another reason why I like to you ding in the Crystal Palace is because if it's close by for capacity by the time you have your Crystal Palace and you haven't gone in there, that should get you in because you have a dining reservation in the park. That was like there's like these tiers, right? For like
Years.
how they
Yep.
let people enter, and a reservation gets you in, you know. So yeah, so I like the move with the planning because like my experience with New Year's Eve has always been at Epcot. So this is kind of interesting to hear about Magic Kingdom strategy. But I feel like it goes the same way. Like you want to have a dining reservation so that you can like at least sit down for a while, you know, and get a
Yes.
meal because the counter service restaurants I feel like are just going to be jam packed later in the evening. So good call, and you got Crystal Palace, which is a great one by the way. Get some ice cream for me. And yeah, and I think that's just a great game plan. I don't know what time of day they have it in, but I like the later breakfast, right? Like don't rope drop. Have a 9 a.m. breakfast, casually roll into the Magic Kingdom later, and hopefully you can get in. I think you can at that point in the day, but I can't make any promises to Tiffany on that.
Yeah, the thing is, I think you're safe. Like again, I'm a nervous Nelly, but I think you're going to be good. I think you're fine with this plan. I love the idea though of the the Ohana breakfast because, like you said, you're going to fill up. You're not going to need a lunch. You can snack. You know, that's something maybe my plan would be like 2 o'clock. Your daughter, yourself, corn dog nuggets, split them, as you're cruising around. I mean, that's like a good, like it's not really a lunch, but it's like a good snackable, shareable lunch. Or, I'd get a cream cheese pretzel over at the lunching pad or something, not like a full lunch, like something you could just, I've never had the cheeseburger egg roll. Maybe I get that for my lunch. I don't have to get like a full on meal and go on because then, like Scott said, it is because you're going to be for the this is going to be a long haul day, right? And so that being able to sit down at say 5, 6, 7 o'clock at Crystal Palace and get a square meal and be able to kind of stretch it out. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing we've done because like we've usually been at Epcot and like Scott said in the situation, a lot of times for some reason we've always been at Chefs de France.
That's where I always go. New Year's Eve
I don't know why. We're
and
always there.
Independence Day. That's where I always go.
Exactly. We're
We did
always excited.
Teppanetto one year. I remember
We
too,
did,
though.
but we are the kings because we're always with like the Foresters. Sometimes we're at the Martins. We're like with a big group. Like, see, one year we were like, God help us, like the whole podcast group. We had people from all over the world. Like we were with people from England, and because remember, like Malcolm was with us.
Malcolm's family was
We
with
just
us.
kept
Yep.
picking up people, man. We had like a crew.
Well, I
But
had this thing on New Year's Eve where I always give everyone like $5 so they have like money in their pocket. That's like a
I
good
remember that.
omen to have money in your pocket when the ball drops. And I remember I'm glad I had enough $5 bills because I took a bunch out and I was just handing them to everyone because like everyone kept tagging along.
That year was crazy. I had the Wookiee hat on. I remember that year. But like we're the kings of like at that age. I'm just saying at the dinner ADR, if you have one and you should have one on New Year's Eve, dude, stretch that thing out, like eat slow because it's just good to be off your feet because the weather can be cold like that night. And like you're in a place where it's warm and you have restrooms. And I'm telling you what, those parks can be packed. Like you're waiting in line sometimes for restrooms. You have like unlimited beverage refills at your dinner. Take advantage of the amenities for 90 minutes or so and then back out into the wild.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's gonna be a fun day because like I've always looked at this is kind of interesting. I kind of want to try this now, but I love being at Epcot New Year's Eve so much. But like I wonder what like the ride wait times are, right? Like I don't know because I never do rides on New Year's Eve. You know, I'm
We
just there to
never
like
did.
hang out.
We never did it at Epcot. And
So I'm curious.
would you get Lightning Lane?
Maybe it's
Yeah,
probably like the highest day, like
oh,
cost
dude,
wise, but
you'd have to get a mortgage. But
right.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
it might be
she's asking about Park Hopper though. They're there from December 29th to January 3rd. Would you take advantage of Park Hopper?
on the other days for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably still get it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I always find value in Park Hopper. Even on this last trip, I had Park Hopper, and I knew there was a day we weren't going to hop, but I knew there'd be other days that I want to. And that's the thing, you can't like it's an all or nothing deal when you purchase the ticket, right? So I was still encouraged getting the Park Hopper for that trip. And Tiffany, I think you and your daughter are gonna have an awesome time on New Year's Eve. Like I want to hear how this goes because my perspective has always been Epcot, so I want to hear what it's like in the Magic Kingdom on New Year's Eve. It's got to be a blast.
I know we always go to Epcot because you got like the silent DJ in
Yeah.
Japan and you got the
And I
bands.
kind of want to have a glass of champagne at the
Yeah.
toast. I mean, to toast at midnight too, you know. So, and yeah, it's just
It's a nut house.
it's it's like my favorite thing though.
It
I was
is.
there this year, 2024 on New Year's, and it's the most fun. Man, that's like the most fun I have at Disney. It's not even like Disney though. It's weird. It's just being in a club somewhere.
It
I don't
is.
even know.
China's got the fire breathing dragon guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone's having a good time, and I know it's gonna be the same way at Magic Kingdom. I think it's just gonna be more like family friendly than Epcot, I'd say.
They
So
do have like a DJ in front of the castle, and like it's not playing
yeah,
Disney music. It's playing like
I know because I've seen that at the 24-hour day before, and I'm like, what is this? There's like a DJ
awesome.
like where the Country
Yeah.
Bears are, like on Country Bear
Yeah.
Jamboree. I'm like, what is this guy
I know.
doing? This is the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. I've been there for like, I don't know why. Well, like when I don't think it was New Year's Eve, but I've been there for nights where they've been playing like techno music in the Magic Kingdom, and it's the coolest vibe ever. It's why you're just like, where am I?
Yeah, that's the thing. You just got to go into it knowing that this is
Yeah.
not going to be your typical Disney park day. It's just going to be, but you're going to have all the attractions and characters and all that stuff. So it's going to be awesome. And say hi to Tigger for me on New Year's Eve.
Absolutely. All right. We're squeezing in one last question here. It's from Ashley. Hey, Mike and Peeps. Due to magnificent conference timing this winter, I get the privilege of going to Disneyland for 2 days in February, then to Disney World the following week. Dude,
Wow.
where do you work?
I know. I want to get a job there.
I only have 3 park days at Disney World, but have a park hopper pass. I don't think I could skip a park, so I'll find a way to visit all 4 parks. Unpopular opinion, Hollywood Studios is my least favorite park out of the 6 I'm visiting, yet Fantasmic is my favorite nighttime show. Scotty G. I like it too. While I've been to both resorts several times, I've never been to both so close together. Is there anything you'd recommend as a fun challenge or focus, such as riding attractions or eating at certain places to get a true comparison, or avoiding all the duplicates to only do the unique things? Looking forward to some sunshine in February. Ashley, interesting. So, how would you tackle this? So she gets to go Disneyland and World, bam, all like close together. How would you tackle that to kind of?
So obvious one for me because like I love like photos and documenting things. Like you got to take a selfie or get a photo pass person in front of like the park icon for all 6 of those and kind of make like a collage, like my February at Disney or something. And you'd be in Cinderella Castle and Sleeping Beauty Castle, the Tree of Life, and all that stuff. I think that'd be kind of like a fun little picture to put together.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
I know. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know what the challenge would be though. Like, I mean, I
I
guess
mean,
you.
that's not a challenge, but that's something I would want
Oh
to.
no,
I'm just thinking about it, that's
100%.
something I would want to
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
exactly. But what would you
I mean,
like?
because it's a work conference, like I mean, the challenge could be like, let's do all the rides, right? Like at both coasts, but that would be a big challenge because you only have a 3 days at one of them, so you had to like hit 2 parks in one day and do all the rides. And like I know you got the conference too, so I don't know what the time is going to be like if this is like after the conference is over, so it's all fun stuff then. So maybe that's possible, but maybe try to do like all the roller coasters, you know, at all the parks. If you're a roller coaster junkie, like I think that could be fun, right? Just brace yourself for Matterhorn. But that could be like a fun thing, right? Like I just did all the Disney domestic roller coasters in like a 1 to 2 week period. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would totally. Yeah, I would just do as I'm with you. I would do as much as possible, and I would make sure. I think Ashley is more because Ashley's one of my guests at the Magic for Less. I
Okay.
think she goes to World more than Land. I think so. I would really try to get that. Like, again, I'm looking at it from my perspective too. I'd try to do all those uniquely Disneyland things as much as possible while you're out on the West Coast. Like I do the subs, I do Matterhorn, I would do Storybook Canal boats, pirates out there for sure. A haunted mansion, I'd definitely take advantage of that because all the changes that's gone through, just to see the queue, because they've redone that. I don't know about Tiana's in February, dude. I do not like getting wet anymore. And
Especially at Disneyland's, man.
I
It's
know
so
because
wet.
like you told me how you got wet on Splash out there, and I've heard that you still get drenched on that version out there still. And I don't know, man. I'm probably not doing that in January. I do not want to get soaked. I'm not into that anymore. I'm not about wet shoes and all that socks, and I don't know, man. I'm really debating that. I hate that anymore. But yeah, so like maybe get an ADR from Blue Bayou, maybe eat at Cafe Orleans, just places that it's really hard to replicate that at World. That's where I'd probably focus. Like I've never been to Lamplighter. I'm really looking forward to that when I go out to Disneyland in late January.
Lamplight Lounge, yeah, it's an awesome spot.
Lamplight Lounge. Never been there. California Adventure.
But I'm guessing since it's a work conference, Ashley's probably gonna be by herself, so like that always makes it like easier in a way to like knock all that stuff out, right? Like you can do like a single rider more, you know, like you work at your schedule. So if you're like fast paced, like I got to get all this stuff done, like there won't be like a teenager slowing you down or anything like that. So I think Ashley can get a lot done.
Or like me when I was on the Treasure, when I was running the 5K and I got done, the couple we were eating dinner with, her husband was running the 5K, and then she comes out to meet him. She's like, where were you? I was like, what are you talking about? There was like a conference meeting this morning. I was like, oh, really? I was like, I was running the 5K. Sorry. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful morning to run a
beautiful day here at Castaway.
I was like, I know all that stuff. I'm good. I book a lot of Disney Cruise Line. I'm good. We're good.
That's funny.
I know all about that shit. It's fine. We're good. I do a podcast.
Which sometimes we do have to count on our audience to answer them.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, we have thousands of listeners.
Like the Magic Kingdom New Year's Eve. I was kind of honestly a little stumped on that one. Like I've never done that.
Just dropped the ball down. I totally missed that.
That's why we need to hear from Tiffany how that day goes for sure.
100%. Tiffany's probably cracking up because I'll guarantee you she was there at that Castaway Key early morning thing. I was there. I went to the treadmill as soon as Census opened at 6 a.m. and I was scarfing down about 100 Mickey waffles. Just then I was just debating whether I could keep the Mickey waffles down for 3 miles out on Castaway Key, but it was beautiful that morning. It was great. Anyway, we got to get out. It's Christmas and we got to get back with our families, but we'll be back on Friday and we're going to just Scott and I are going to hang out and tell some stories. We're going to spin some yarn about Disney trips and stuff like that. And kind of like we were just talking about today. So come on back and just hang out with us as we wrap up Christmas week here in the States. So don't forget our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are still standing by to help you plan amazing Disney vacations. Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney. The best part, no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you do that online shopping. It's one extra click and it supports the show each and every time. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys made our show possible in 2024. And we hope that you continue to support us in 2025, just $5 a month. And you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow me on the social media at beourguestmike. You can follow Scott at epscott, but also check him out at Must See Adventures on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do that. And Scott, what's happening over there this week? Give everybody a little.
All right, so we should be able to watch our video in Santiago, Spain. And I told Mike, like, I want to start cranking these out. I got lots of content, so I'm going to try to post a C day here soon. So hopefully you'll have 2 episodes by the end of the year, which would be exciting as we go into 2025.
That's right. Get those elves working. See if you can talk to S. Claus that emailed.
Yeah, S. Claus in the end poll. Yeah, I need to. See if he has some help here with some editing.
I mean, they're apparently they'll be not so busy after today. I think
that's right.
Maybe
they deserve a break though. I don't think they want to jump in and like
buy them some McDonald's and maybe they're good with I don't know, like what Final Cut. I don't know, whatever you use. I don't know what the program.
Oh, I don't even know what it is I use. It's like I think it's like an old. It's like an iMovie for Windows or something. Like
I'm just saying, maybe they're proficient. I don't know.
Maybe that's why I'm not so good at it. Yeah.
We'll have the live call show this Sunday night. We'll have a good time. Give us a call and hey, just hang out with. Oh, he missed the field goal and the blue. Not that I have bowl games on here in the studios. We're recording the shows, but man, could have just won the bowl game on the blue turf and missed the shot. But yeah, join us this Sunday night. We'll have the live call-in show. It's 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. We want you to be a part of the show. Give us a call. We'll talk Disney with you. It's the Christmas week. It's Christmas Day as you listen to the show. I mean, come on, we're having fun. So for Scott up in Michigan, I'm Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a very, very Merry Christmas. We'll be back in on Friday. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Dude had a chip shot. He had chip shot with 1 second left, and he missed it.
My computer like turned off there, so I got really distracted answering one of those questions. Like the screen went black.
Your video locked up, but your audio was coming.
Okay, so I'm glad it like swears because I was like, oh dang, like it's not working anymore.
Like your audio like glitched for like 2 seconds, but it was enough. It came.
I think it was like trying to like It wants me to restart, but I was like, but it hasn't like. It seems like it's fine now, so I'm just gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah, it's going. It's good now.
But yeah, I was like answering that cruise question, and like I was like, I got like, yeah, I was really distracted.
Yep. Dude missed the chipper. Dude, they even like took the ball, took a knee right in the middle of the field, like hit the
Oh, they set it up too. Yeah.
yeah, set him up, dude. Totally shanked it to the left, going to overtime.
Oh no. Oh, so it was tied game.
It was
Okay, so this got shot.
13-13. Yep. Oh, Priscilla, today is not a call-in show because I do not have the phone lines hooked up. But that'll be Sunday. Sunday. But we appreciate it. We should get a called in last night. We always need calls. Close that one. All right. So we shall do the Friday show.
I might fly to MCO from Vegas. I forgot, like I'm at a conference, like leading up to like that cruise. Yeah, so I might actually just fly to
Well, I was thinking about this because then you're going to Alani like right after that too, right? Isn't it pretty close?
like a month, like 5 or 6 weeks
Okay.
later.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought it was closer than that. I'm like,
that was
dude,
like March
oh,
21st or something. Yeah,
okay. I
so
think
I'll have time. Oh yeah, you gotta tell me. You were supposed to tell me something about like a funnel vision or like watching a game or something.
yes. Okay, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that on this show. Okay. Yeah, Sunday night. Let's talk, Priscilla. We love that. Okay, so this is episode 2615. Welcome to episode 2615 of the. I said that wrong. Did I say Happy Friday? No, I didn't.
No, you just said welcome to the episode.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to episode 2615 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. I totally messed up the beginning of this show, but hey, you know what? It's Christmas week, and I think I've overdosed on Christmas cookies here in the Be Our Guest Podcast studios, but it's all right. Ricky is still down in Central Florida, visiting the Magic Kingdom, getting Lucy's haircut at the Harmony Barbershop, still trying to get those. Well, she got her gingerbread house popcorn bucket secured. She's probably just loving on that thing, just looking at it up on the mantle like a leg lamp from Christmas Story. And Scott and I are here. We're just going to be hanging out, talking Disney like two dudes at Christmas, having a good time. So hang out with us here as you're going to and fro. I don't know if it's still a thing to like people taking back Christmas presents that they maybe didn't fit, maybe they didn't like. I know there's a thing back like 10 years ago, but let's hang out and talk Disney. So Scotty G from Must See Adventures over on YouTube. Got to check that out. Got to subscribe. But today, just hanging out. Scotty G, what's going on? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Mike. So outside of Santa Claus, I think you got to be the guy that enjoys Christmas cookies the most. Like you love, like you're an equal opportunist for that too. Absolutely. Like there's not a Christmas cookie that you met that you don't like. Is that right?
Oh, I mean, I'm sitting here. I have powdered sugar on my pants. I mean, because my favorite because my girls come home right now. I know a lot of people make the Christmas cookies. Well, like in early December, right? But we don't make them until Paige comes home, and she didn't come home until the 22nd at night. So on the 23rd, that's when the Christmas cookie making went
Bake Off, the great Christmas Bake Off.
Exactly. So they were just all over the place. Chocolate, and they make all kinds like snickerdoodles, regular chocolate chip. And there's a story behind those. My favorite, the chocolate chip, which you then get powdered sugar on top, which is why now it's all over the studio and all over myself because I keep sneaking them and they're just all over the place. But then we have the peanut butter balls. Those are Mallory's favorite. We have green wreaths. Those are basically like Rice Krispie treats, but they dyed green. So now my fingers have green dye on them, but they also have like little, they're called imperals or something, like little red pieces of candy. So they look like little green wreaths. Those are super good. I count those as breakfast food because they're made out of like cornflakes or Rice Krispie treats or some kind of cereal. But we have all the cookies like right now. They're everywhere. But then we take them to my in-laws on Christmas Eve. And so, they get eaten up a lot by the rest of the family with the wings that we talk about on Thursday. But that's kind of the story here. Yes, I do destroy a lot of. That's why I run all the miles because I eat all the Christmas cookies this time of year. I'm like the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street, basically. Nom nom nom. I can't wait. But what about you? Where do you fall in the Christmas cookie story here? You get
I
a
do
lot?
enjoy them. Like we Elizabeth would normally bake them. I just think this year has just been hard finding time. Just we've been very busy with a lot of stuff. So unless if she plans on baking some, or did plan on baking some on Christmas Eve, I think I'm gonna be cookie free this year, which is wild to think. I might have to come to your place.
Oh my gosh, you're more than welcome because they are everywhere. And it's one of those things too. And I don't know if our listeners are like this, but like I every time I walk through the kitchen, I have to get one. Like it's the law, right? Because now they've moved to those, they're made by Ziploc, but they're those green kind of translucent um containers, right? With
Mhm.
you can see them through there kind of, so you know what kinds in each package there, and they're just sitting basically on the counter. So like, do you need a well, the peanut butter balls are in the fridge, but do you need the chocolate chip? Well, the chocolate chip, those are actually in my grandma's tin, which I put a post on Instagram that when my grandma and grandpa passed away, my grandpa passed away first and my grandma, when they were getting ready to sell the house, the one thing I told my family, I said, the one thing I want is my grandma's cookie tin, because that was the thing that everybody always went to first in her house. Like when I went over to their house, when my dad went to the house, when my uncle Randy went to the house, when my cousins, when you walked in, everybody, you went into the kitchen, into the pantry, upper left hand corner. Everybody went straight to the cookie tin, and there was always chocolate chip cookies. My grandma always made the best chocolate chip cookies, and you could just hear bonk because it was a metal tin, bonk, and it made this super sound.
Yep.
And you always got like 2 or 3 chocolate chip cookies, and made grandma so happy that you're eating her chocolate chip cookies. So when she passed, I was like, I want the tin. Like I don't care, like you can have the car, you can have whatever, but I want the cookie tin. So I got the cookie tin. And so now every year we take that out. My girls make, and the only kind that can go in there are chocolate chip, regular, not the chocolate chip, not the green wreaths, not the peanut butter balls, but the chocolate chip cookies go in there. I posted a picture on Instagram, and it just makes me happy. So I go in there every once in a while, bonk, pop that thing open, just like, when I was 7, and even when my dad was, getting them, and eat a chocolate chip cookie and think of Grandma Ruth, and it's Christmas. So that's kind of my Christmas story. I love it. And then perfect. But that's it. So that's kind of where I am this week. But not really Disney, but I think Disney, right? We've talked about this in the past, kind of getting to what we're going to talk about today. Disney's nostalgia, right? And Christmas is nostalgia. I think there's a lot of
Absolutely.
parallels there. Yeah.
Yep.
So today,
I mean, I've kind of overlapped the two. Like I just went to a very Mary's Christmas party. Like it puts me in the holiday spirit when I go there, like right after Thanksgiving time. But I've never actually been there like on Christmas because I talked about my mom being a traditional, like she has all these traditions, and like I think I would have broken my mom's heart if I would have taken her daughter away like on Christmas Day, right? Or granddaughter away on Christmas Day. So I've I've never not been at my parents' house. Like, I mean, I'm 41 years old. I've spent 41 Christmases at that house, opening presents and celebrations. And it just to me feels weird to like leave for Christmas. I feel like I want to do it some year, just be at Magic Kingdom on Christmas Day. I think it'll be a lot of fun, but like I just have never done it. What about you, Mike? Have you ever like, because I know you got all these things you do at Christmas time too. Have you ever like left to be at a Disney park on a Christmas Day?
I have not, because again, it's exactly the same, but it's Pam's family. Like there's no, and that's why I couldn't go on Thanksgiving. Like I know you guys go down for Thanksgiving and you were kind of teasing, like, come on down and join us at the fort. It'd be awesome. It's your birthday. But we host Thanksgiving with everybody for Pam's family. And my dad and his girlfriend came over, girlfriend of forever years, came over, and so we had a big old time. And there's no way, like, Pam would never be away from her family on Thanksgiving or Christmas. I
Yeah.
know it would be fun to be down there, but it would, Pam Forrester, like, she does it all the time, right? And she talks to us about, like, it takes the stress away, like,
Right.
because hosting is a big deal, right? I mean, I know, like, because we make the turkey, and it, like, you got to go get the turkey, you got to order the turkey, and like some years, like, her mother-in-law or my mother-in-law will like help us pay for, like, besides the turkey, like we'll get the honey baked ham too, because it gets expensive. Like you're buying all of the food for like 25 people. I mean, it's like, she doesn't give us money, but like she'll go buy like the green beans and the corn, and she'll drop off all these cans of, stovetop stuffing. I mean, like she'll come by with like all these bags of stuff. So like she'll put them in. And so then, we prepare all this stuff, but I mean, it's like a military operation, right? So it's stressful. Like Pam Forrester, she's smart. Like she'll say, Yeah, there's a lot of years we'll just go down to Walt Disney World because we'll go Liberty Tree Tavern, and we don't have to think about anything. We got a hotel room, we go to the parks, we have fun, food's already made, boom, done.
Yeah, we like doing that for Thanksgiving. I mean, we tend to go every other year, but I one of these years I do want to go on Christmas Day. I just got to know what that's like. And it'll feel so weird, right? Because like I just said, every year I'm at my dad's house. Like I've never not been there, or like Elizabeth's folks since I've known her. So, but I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be a fun Disney memory just to be there on Christmas Day and like thanking cast members, wishing people Merry Christmas. I don't know, just like I feel like the atmosphere would just be electric. But some year.
Now we have gone many times though, like this time, like the week between Christmas and New Year's
Mm,
though, because like as teachers, I used to teach and my wife still does. A lot of times we would, do Christmas, have Christmas, at home here, and then we'd jump in the car on the 26th or the 27th because we were off, right? Until the kids went back to school on like the second or the third or the fourth or whatever, how the schedule fell.
yeah.
And I'd be like, dude, we're off school and it's cold. Let's go down to Walt Disney World for a week. And and that's always the busiest week of the year at Walt Disney World. But I'll tell you what, we did this for years, like every year, and we had the best time. I mean, yeah, it's the busiest week of the year, but God, I look back and this was when Paige, Paige is 28 now. Paige was like 7, 8, 9, 10. And we did this almost every year. Yeah, we had the best times. I remember because you get to see, like at the Magic Kingdom, the afternoon parade was with Santa. Like I have pictures of like Santa going down Main Street USA in the sled, and like she's looking up. And I mean, yeah,
Man, that guy never stops working, does he?
Oh, exactly. Like, he was just delivering presents. Now he's down in Florida waving to people. But people are 10 people deep. But the whole thing was, as somebody from Missouri, we were now in Florida in shorts. And I don't know, maybe it's because like social media wasn't such a thing maybe 15, 20 years ago, but I didn't care. Like, and it wasn't so like people weren't debating lightning lanes and stuff like that. It was still paper fast pass back then.
Park
And
was probably open till 2 a.m. some
it was,
mornings.
it was.
Yeah.
I mean, and we always got up. I mean, we got up and we were there rope dropping, and we went back to the pool and swam in the afternoon, just like we still do now. And we were there till it closed at night and just did smart stuff with our park touring, but we didn't care. Like we had a good time. If it was a crazy long line, we didn't get in it. We did Carousel of Progress, we did People Mover, we did Tiki Birds, we did Pirates. But I mean, those were the best days. I mean, I know you have those same kind of memories, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wasn't going as far back as you, but yeah, I do like because now like we're like, oh yeah, I gotta post on Instagram, like you know what I mean? Like I'm guilty of that too, right? It's just like, man, it was just nice to just like have a park day and not like look at your phone. And like you kind of have to look at your phone now too if you want to get like your lightning lane and things like that, or like make your dinner reservation, or if you have to make a change there, look at wait times or whatever. I do kind of miss that. It's just a new era. It's just different, and I still like it today, right? But I don't know how we got down this path. We're just talking about Christmas cookies. Like this is like the free for all show today, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we're just kind of hanging out, talking, and talking about fun, memories we have from vacations. And one thing I wanted to bring up was we talked about this on Wednesday, and that story of Donate that maybe our listeners know or not. And it was a trip that we were on together, and we're just going to kind of tell some stories here on a Friday. No real big topic. We're just kind of hanging out and just hanging out with you guys. But so I have my iPhone set up to, and this is one of those things you can do. I don't know. Do you have like wallpaper on your, like a certain picture on your phone, or like I use the photo
Like my background, I do right now. Yeah, I actually have like the Chicago like skyline right now, which is kind of random, but I have Chicago as my background.
Paid good approve of that.
Yeah,
because flames. She'd say fire up. But so I use that photo shuffle where like every hour it changes to just a different picture, and like I have Pam and Paige and Mallory, and then like landscapes. So like I will a lot of times get a lot of pictures of Chicago because I did that boat tour, right? It took a bajillion pictures of all the architect, right? So all of a sudden I'll see like, oh, there's a random that one skinny building that's so cool looking that I can't believe. Like it's really cool.
Oh, that has like the wind tunnel like on the 105th floor or whatever. Yeah, that's one of my favorite buildings.
Always shows up. Yeah, that one always shows up from the river, Chicago River.
It's like one of the. It was designed by a woman. I think the youngest woman that designed like a skyscraper in Chicago or something.
100%. That one is always like shows up like every day at some point. Anyway, it's beautiful building. Anyways, it's so funny that we talk about that. But where was it going? So, oh yeah, so it's a photo shuffle, right? So I mean, hundreds of pictures will just pop up like on my wallpaper every hour, just a random picture. And today, the picture of Donate, the I don't even remember, was it a bear or something? But so
Donate's a bear, yes.
okay, a bear. So we vacationed together many times. Our family, the Rallmans and the Gardners, and was this trip in January. It was around
This is
this
a marathon weekend trip, I want to
marathon
say.
weekend,
Yep.
I would say, yeah. So we were over at the Animal Kingdom. Mallory and Emily were probably, I'm guessing, like 10, 11
Sounds
ish,
about right.
right? In the picture.
And maybe.
Yeah. And so we're over at Animal Kingdom. I think that day I accessorized one of my marathon weekend costumes with some Buzz Lightyear gloves. I'm thinking I bought them there.
You did
Uh,
buy them there, yes.
yeah, to
Same
try
place
and
Donate was
yeah,
acquired,
same
I
place.
believe.
That is really good. It's that really good store at Animal Kingdom. It's got that, I forget the name of it, but it's a great
It's like some kind
really,
of like something mercantile. I think like if you're walking towards the Tree of Life from the park entrance, it's on the right hand side
yeah,
over there.
it's
It's
a
kind of like
great
on the
store.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great store. But anyway, so Emily finds this awesome bear that, I mean, it is really cute. It was super cute. And now, do you want to tell the story of Emily and her bear family back home? Because I
Yeah.
kind of
So Emily has a lot of stuffed animals. She has these families, and there's relationships, like, some of them end up getting married and they extend their family, and there's like cousins and all this stuff. There's like a whole like family tree. And she still has a lot of these stuffed animals today, but like she was kind of like in her peak era, like around 10, just tons of stuffed animals. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this wall next to me is loaded with stuffed animals next door, and she knows the names of all of them and their history. But yeah, so she loves these stuffed animals, and she sees this cute bear. I mean, it is adorable. Like, and like you can like put your hand in there and like move its mouth and do this stuff, kind of like almost like a puppet in a way, but like more like a squishy stuffed animal, like so cozy and comfortable to snuggle up to. Anyway, so she wants to get this, and we're like, Emily, do you really need another stuffed animal? Like, you're
for
just in the
so
moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're in the moment here. We're at Animal Kingdom having a good time. Like, you got a gift card. I think you're just trying to like just burn through this. Like, do you really need to bring another stuffed bear home? And like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Like, I know what family member he's gonna be part of, and all this stuff. And we still are not argued, but we still like tried to talk her out of it. And Mike, was this when you kind of jumped in? I believe when we were trying to say no, or
Because I'm kind of so
Uncle Mike.
we're kind of exactly. We're always like the uncle to the other one. Like, I'm kind of like Uncle Mike to Emily, and Scott's like Uncle, Scott to Mallory. We're like the worst to the other one, right? We just egg him on. So I'm like, no, she needs this, dude. He's already got a backstory. Like, he's already a part of the family. At this point, if you don't buy him, you're abandoning this guy. And so,
Basically, he guilted me,
right.
basically.
So
Yeah.
we had to get him, right? And I'm like, dude, he's already you cannot leave this guy behind. So immediately we had to come up with a name, right? And so Donate became this guy's name because he had to have a name that would befit somebody who would come from the animal kingdom. So he said, that sounds like a great name that would befit a bear coming out of the animal kingdom, Donate. But of course, also because he would probably be donated to somewhere within 6 months,
Yeah,
at
so
least in my house,
DONATE with a little accent.
donate, because at our house we have so many stuffed animals. I think Mallory got one too. Well, they did a whole photo, because what we did
We
was,
did a photo shoot.
did Mallory get one too, or did we just
I don't
use?
think Mallory did, but I know like Paige was in the photo shoot.
Yeah,
Mallory
because
did
I
it.
mean, I have a million pictures with this thing. So was
And
it
it was
only
right when you
one
got the iPhone that did the portrait.
portrait mode, dude? That trip was made. Yes, that's why I want to do this show on Friday, because again, nobody's paying attention this week on podcasts, so we're just having fun. And everybody went through these eras, right? So this was the portrait mode era of Disney vacations. You're exactly right. The portrait mode was the thing. Yes, because remember, we took all the pictures with Mallory and Emily with their 5K photos. We were standing at the Tomorrowland Terrace
Oh yeah.
with the castle in the background. I have 100 pictures of portrait mode with the like them
Yes.
in focus and the castle kind of like bokeh'd in the back.
And they were wearing like the 5K shirt. I know we just like quick jump to another story here, but yes. So that was the thing. So Uncle Mike is like, yeah, you gotta get that. You can't let this poor bear like not miss his family back home in East Lansing and all this stuff. So we gave into it. and then Donate. And Emily, I will say, was mad. She did not like the name Donate. She's
No, I
like,
don't
I
think
think
she did.
she
I don't think
whispered to me like, "That's not gonna be his name," you know.
that's what
Like
I
I'm just
called it.
letting Mike have fun with it now.
Yeah.
And we are like 7 to 8 years later, and Donate is still in this room. And I'll have to, I got to post a photo of Donate when we drop this
Yeah.
episode. And Emily loves him, and he still obviously goes by Donate. And she will admit, if she was right here, she would tell you like she kind of likes the name.
I
It
hope
just works
so.
so well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will post a picture too because Paige has pictures with Donate, Mallory has pictures with Donate, and they're great.
And I will
Honestly,
say,
they're
if
great.
anyone wants a Donate, I see Donate's cousins still at Animal Kingdom. Like we say hi to them when we pass through, which is crazy to think like that type of souvenir is still hanging around 8 years later. You know,
He's a solid bear. I mean,
So
look
fair.
at, and I mean, honestly, like the pictures turned out great. Like seriously, because they were standing in front of the tree of life, and we did do like portrait mode did a solid picture. I mean, it was in the
Mhm.
early days too. This was like 10 years ago. Or not probably not 10 years ago, probably 6 or 7, but early days we were messing
Right.
around with that. So that's one of the stories I wanted to share with our audience today because we
Well,
were kind of hanging out. So we
I
were
got
eating.
something here too. I don't know if you remember this, Mike, but I think Disney is just a great place to like experiment new things. Because you got like all these great restaurants, right? And sometimes these types of restaurants might not be places you frequent at home, or they might have menu options that like you don't think about. But like I like to try new things, and like I think Disney is a great place to experiment. I'll never forget one of our first meals together. This is a marathon weekend one too. We had a big group at Maya Grill, Ding, one of our favorite places,
Yep.
right? And this is when Ricardo was our server. If anyone remembers Ricardo.
I'm just
Oh,
playing that for the smooth jazz guy.
yes. So we're at Maya Grill, and we have this huge table. It's us, the Foresters, the Mardens, and you and I are like just sitting next to each other, and we're getting our flight of margaritas as we do. And someone orders like some chips and queso. This is a place that doesn't give you like the chips, like which I know like is a
Yeah.
fail sometimes, right? Yeah. So you got to order all the chips. But since we're already ordering chips and salsa, we might as well get the chips and queso and the chips and guacamole. And you start eating this guacamole, and I'm staying away from it. And you're like, yeah, Scott, aren't you gonna eat this guacamole? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like I've never had guacamole before. And like your reaction was just like none other. Cause like you think like because I do. I try a lot of things, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had never had guacamole up to that point. And like you gotta try it. Like, how could you not like you basically like throw a chip down my throat? Like, you gotta try this. Like, how can you not try guacamole? So that is actually the first place I ever had tried my guacamole was at Maya Grill with you, and it was great. And I just love guacamole now. I can't imagine like my life without it. And like we'll talk about that in a second. But the rest of this evening was hilarious. You and I having fun with those margaritas. I remember this is when you and I belted out "Don't Stop Believing" in the
Yes, I have
restaurant.
video of that. I have video of
There's
that.
video.
We look like we're 12 in that video, by
Oh
the
my
way.
god, don't we ever though? It's just that's just one of my favorite memories now. I just look back and like I can't believe like Mike is the guy that got me like not my wife or anyone like I've known like way longer than you at that point, like because we had known each other for like maybe like only like a year at this point.
Yeah,
Like again, we looked really young.
we did.
But yeah, you influenced me, Mike, on
So,
guacamole with the smooth jazz guy and Maya Grill.
today's show brought to you by Avocados de Mexico.
But didn't Pam Forster like get you to like? Is there like a chain reaction here? Like,
No, my
oh,
Pam got me to try
oh, is
guacamole
your Pam?
because
Okay.
she was a server at a Mexican restaurant like all through college and stuff. It was called Casa Gallardo here in St. Louis. So she was all about all the Mexican stuff. Like I didn't even drink until I met Pam. I mean, not that I'm not trying to say she brought me down because I mean,
Rephrase that.
I don't drink beer. I can't drink beer. Like I can't get past the smell of it or
We don't
anything.
drink a lot. We'd like to have like a little
I don't,
cocktail on
right? Seriously,
vacation
I
and
don't
stuff.
drink. I don't. I only on cruises and like at Mexican restaurants is the only time I drink. So like I do like margaritas though, and that's the first thing I had because she told me like, it tastes like Gatorade. Like you drink Gatorade like it's going out of style. Because back then I played a ton of hockey and like I drink like 3 Gatorades during a hockey game. She's like, dude, it tastes like Gatorade with a kick. So I tried a margarita with like some tacos. I'm like, oh, you're right, it's pretty good, and I'm funnier. So
But it's
yeah,
still,
but I tried guacamole with her. So yeah, that's the first
but
time I
that restaurant in general, like Maya Grill, I think is like it's kind of an underappreciated restaurant. Like I really like it, and like there was a time, Mike, because I think you always got the you used to be huge on a fajitas kick. I remember like the Las Fuentes, you were always gonna like, get like fajitas.
I
Maybe
have
you still
fajitas
do.
twice a week, it
Okay,
also
so you still are on the
oh, I
fajitas
am.
kick.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
but do you remember there was a time where they had like a fajitas for two? I think at Maya Grill. So
I
I
do.
remember you and Pam would like get
Yep.
those. But there's a window where they got rid of the fajitas,
They
and
did,
it was
yeah, they got rid of everything for a while. They
yeah.
redid the menu and, like, it was just weird stuff for,
I
like,
know, and,
years.
like, we went there a couple times, and, like, we kinda, like I'm not saying we gave up on it, but we didn't frequent as much, I'll say that, and then now the fajitas are back. I don't even think it's the fajitas for 2 anymore. I think you can just order fajitas now, which is ironic 'cause my girls, they both order the fajitas, so the fajitas for 2 would have worked, but I'm just telling you, like, their queso, those margaritas are so good, like, I in the atmosphere, like, you got those vaulted ceilings, right? It's just it's a the coloring, like, I think more people need to go there. I mean, I'm just thankful that we can normally walk up, right? It's pretty empty in there, but it surprises me because it's such a nice restaurant.
It is, and yeah, I agree. I mean, it I'm glad that it's kind of a secret, but I always do I don't keep it a secret. I tell people, if you're staying at Coronado,
Yeah,
make it a point to get over there. But it's a large restaurant too. I mean, it's got a lot of seating. But I mean, I
yeah.
do see it sometimes really crowded too. It's weird because like sometimes I'll see it empty, but when I see it crowded, it's
It
like
might depend on the convention, right? Maybe there's
yeah,
like
that's it
a big
too.
convention and everyone like goes there afterwards. That could be part of it too.
So let me ask you this. So we've been there together as well during strange times. One of the strangest times we were there together that I just remember it was like, I mean, it's almost like walking on the moon, kind of like weird. And we could share this story because it's been almost 5 years at this point. It was during COVID, right? We went right after the parks reopened and we shared a meal. You were a genius in booking this. You booked the latest ADR at Liberty Tree Tavern at the Magic Kingdom. And like we had done a day at the Magic Kingdom. And I want to say the Magic Kingdom that day closed at like 6 or
Yeah,
7. I
it
mean,
was
it was
6.
it was daylight. It was like in August, I think. Or
Yeah, because I think like Animal Kingdom was 5 because they were all staggered. Magic Kingdom was 6, and like Studios was 7, Epcot was 8 or something like that. Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, we dragged out our meal as long as we could at Liberty Tree. We took our time because I mean, there was not the thing was like once the parks closed, there was nothing to do. I mean, there
mhm,
was nothing to do. And so we dragged out our meal and we were literally, I'm pretty sure the last ones in the Magic Kingdom because we were like the last ones out of Liberty Tree. And then we walked out of Liberty Tree and we walked through the hub. And I remember we got some of the most amazing pictures in the hub because that day it was kind of a cloudy sky. Like maybe it had just finished raining or something, but like the sky was almost like purpley, like
yes,
orangey. It was a weird looking sky. It was sunset. And I mean, there was just nobody around. And but, like, the park was closing and it was still light outside. It was the weirdest, like, sensation ever in a Disney like, we were in the Magic Kingdom, like, alone, and it was daylight. It was
right.
weird.
It
Remember
was
that?
so weird. That was weird. It's funny. I'm gonna have a Must See Adventure video like at Disneyland Paris where I think I actually talk about this moment because one of the parks closed at like 8 and it was like it didn't get dark till like 10 there. I'm like, why is the park closing? It's still daylight. And I think I referenced like this moment that you're talking about. Like it made me think of that. But I just remember like it's funny. One of these photos we took is actually on my in my kitchen. We have it framed because like it was we were all just getting gorgeous shots, right?
Yeah.
Like,
We couldn't
and I
stop.
remember
The sky was just like a color that you I mean, it was like God painted the sky for us that night. It
friend
was
Glim in the chat, who's a
nobody
great photographer, he would have loved this
around.
moment for sure, just
Yeah.
capturing Cinderella Castle. I remember I used like a trash can as a tripod at one point too. Like, I mean, there was just no one around us. I've never gotten a better like partner statue picture than you could that day because there's not a single soul in sight. Oh my gosh, what a weird time and a weird moment. Well, I know something funny about that though. So we were staying at Wilderness Lodge. I think you and Mallory at Pop or something. So we were going to take the boat back and, we're still like we're taking our time leaving because as you said, like, there's not much you can do after the parks are closed,
Yeah,
right?
basically, the only thing you could do at that point was swim. That was
Yep.
it. Yeah.
So we're taking our time walking up Main Street and, like, we hug and say, "Hey, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night." And we say, "Oh, there's a boat there." Like, so we kinda speed up walking a little bit because like, there's a boat waiting, and it's pretty full boat. And then we go and sit down, And then like we hear like a walkie-talkie go off, and like, all right, last guest is left. You're good to go. Like everyone in that boat
Yeah.
was like waiting for us.
Exactly. Like, okay, Magic Kingdom has been cleared.
Yeah.
These pokey people have finally left, and they've taken their 7,000 pictures in the hub. We can clear.
Yep.
Let's go.
Like I just looked at Liz like, oh my gosh, were they waiting for us? Like I swear that's what they said. They said Magic Kingdom cleared, and then boom, the boat started going. Like how long were they sitting on that boat waiting for us?
Well, because I
Oh
mean,
man.
it's like Disney lore. I mean, you always
Yeah.
hear people saying, I mean, that's kind of just like what people do every night. Like, it's just a thing that Disney fans do. Like, like instead of rushing to your bus after the fireworks, have a leisurely stroll to and enjoy the evening instead of being part of the masses. But I mean, we kind of took it to the next level because it was nothing to do. It was like 6:45. It was, what are you going to do? Go back and go to bed? I mean, it was crazy. It was one of the
Right.
weirdest times. So, what else? I mean, what comes to your mind as far as other weird, like, because we've had a lot of trips together. Stories like this. Just kind of telling some stories today.
I just I've always like been fans of our pool days. And without like a broken record here, you, our family, mine, and the Forsters, we spent a lot of time like just after cruises or whatever, booking the same resorts and all that. And I'll never forget one summer we had a Stormalong Bay beach day, a pool day there, and so we got our spots early. Like it was one of those like we're rope dropping the pool. Like we forget the parks, we're gonna rope drop the pool today. It's summertime, and we got those. I hate to talk about these chairs, but we got those chairs like on that upper deck. You know what I'm talking about?
We got like the concierge chairs. They weren't concierge;
Basically,
they were free, but we rope dropped, so we went straight to them. Yes,
right. So we're just having the best time, just like hang out in the pools, and then we come out, we'd read a little bit. I think there's like a bumper pool table or something. Like I think we play a little pool like while we're up there. We're just having the best day, like not even worried about a theme park, just enjoying life with our friends. And we're like, hey, we should all go to Beaches and Cream. Like, let's go to Beaches and Cream and get an ADR or something. So we go up there, and like, sure enough, like it's hard to get a same day ADR there. And this might have been when it was smaller too, before
I think it
yeah,
was.
it was. It
It was.
was. It was so so we're trying to get like on a waiting list, and like so there's like four of you all because Paige was there too, I believe, three of us and three. So there's like 10 of us. And they're like, yeah, we can do like it broke it out into like three ADRs. We're gonna have to break you up into three different groups or whatever. And like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Like you guys can take the four, we'll take a three, the Forcers will take a three. And that's not what we did at all. This tells you like how family we are. Like Liz ate with like Hannah and Steve, and then like like I just can't remember how it broke it up. Like I know I ate with you and Pam. It's like how it worked out. Like
You know what? That picture came up as well just today. It's me and you and Pam sitting on the bar because there's
yeah,
a shot
yeah,
of us
we sat at the
right
bar.
on the
Yeah.
bar. Yes,
Like
that's
all the
right.
families like split
I'm
up
not
the same way.
kidding.
Like Paige ate with Pam Forster and Mallory. Or like I don't know. Like I don't know even know how it
You and
worked
Pam.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I just know like we all like split up, and it was just funny to me. It was just like that's just how our dynamics were with our family. We're just so great with everybody. Like, yeah, I eat with those guys all the time. How about you, me and Pam eat together instead? And it was just fun. That was just an awesome pool day. I think we stayed out pretty. I mean, we're there like all day. I just remember. I mean, that's how you do a storm on pool day, honestly.
Well, the
And
good
then,
news is because where we had was like covered, so you weren't like getting
God, the spot is
roasted.
so covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that spot was covered. So like you had loungers, but you weren't getting roasted. You get in the water, you get out, and you're not getting smoked.
Yeah. I think because they do like the hair, is it wrapping or hair braiding like on the like
Yeah,
sidewalk out there?
yeah.
And Emily asked all day to do it. And I think we gave like the empty promise to her that, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll get that later in the day. And we never did that trip. I feel so bad. Well, I got to go pay that debt soon and like have her get her hair wrapped.
Good call. So speaking of that, this was so random show, but Paige used to always get that every trip, right? Because they'd always do it like a pop century. There'd be the lady that was by the pool, and we'd always go down. And typically our trips would go down in the summer, like in mid-July, and then school back then would start late for us, like in late August. Now it's like the beginning of August. It's really moved up for us, but it used to be like we go down in mid-July and kind of do our week vacation. So we'd let her get her hair, and I don't know if that's how it still is, but like you get like one string Like, is that still what they do?
I
Like,
think so. Yeah. Yeah.
so she'd get like one string with like some beads or something on the end of it. Like she'd keep it in her hair like the rest of the summer. But the rule was when she went back to school, it had to come out. Like she could keep it in her hair until school started. It's like meet the teacher night. And then we had to get rid of it. So like the whole rest of the summer, that thing would be like beating around like if she was playing soccer. She's always, on soccer teams. I think it'd be, because they had those like it make noise. It had like little beads or something on the end of it. But man, and sometimes like one year, like it came, because it was tied up at the top of her, coming out of her scalp. Like one time, it like just broke right off, and like she lost that piece of hair, like because it got so twisty or whatever, and just, boom, she lost that chunk of hair. Because she always played with it, like
Yeah.
she was like a 9-year-old.
I
Like
think I can like picture a photo of her with that. Now that
oh,
you
yeah.
say that, yeah.
One year in the Bahamas, she got cornrows. Now that was
Yep. So Emily did that at Castaway Key one year. Yeah, it was the first podcast cruise that we were part of, and
Yeah.
like, dude, like she just had them for like because I think we did like a few days at Walt Disney World afterwards, so she had them there. Like we come home, the grandmas are all like, "Oh my God, Emily, what'd you do to your hair?" And like eventually we're like, we got to get rid of these, and we just had to like cut them like with scissors. Like we didn't know like any way else about it, and her hair was just like poofy. Like it was so funny. That was fun though, like just getting that done on Castaway Key. We're just walking back to the ship and we saw her, we're like, why not? The cruise is almost over. We can get those. And like she just looked crazy like the rest of the trip.
Yeah, Paige has had cornrows a few times, but yeah.
Dude, speaking of, I mean, we haven't talked about cruise, but we have so many cruise memories, like and we often say this, man, the cruise is just the best with like your friends and your family. Like you just laid back, that the captain's handling the driving of the boat. You just show up to restaurants, you show up to like all these games, and like I mean, there's not very far to go, right? So you like see the same people all the time. You learn. Like, I say this all the time about the podcast. My favorite thing about the podcast is learning about people. So the podcast cruises, particularly, like you learn where people are from. You learn their stories. I love that when you do the trip reports, and like you always ask, like, "Hey, tell me something about like the town that you're from." I just love that. But gosh, I mean, I could write a book about like our cruise line stories. Honestly, I think people would read it. It's just like we got so many great stories. But one I just want to talk about was like a dedication to you, Mike, because like you've always been like big on the running ever since I've known you. Really, like you just like you're a machine when it comes to like your routine. Like you hate missing a day, no days off for you. And it was one of our double dips. It might have been the 7-nighter that we did. No, it was a 7-nighter. It wasn't a double dip, but it was a 7-nighter where we had 2 5Ks where we ran one like around the ship, as a group. Like I don't know if you remember that. So like we had like a start line and everything, and like
because we were raising money for Give Kids the World on that.
Yeah, we're raising money for Give Kids the World. That's right.
And Phil Shinegold had like we actually did a thing on the ship. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I'm getting. Like Phil, like that's what I was getting at. Like Phil, like led this whole thing. So like Florence and Teresa are like on your marks, get set, go, or they're kind of doing like this Run Disney thing. We ran around the ship, and then we went back and did the island for another. When we went to Castaway, we did another big group 5K. And Phil, being the guy that he is, he was like, "No, this is great. We're raising money for Give Kids the World. We get the Castaway Key medal, but he had to up it one more and had another medal for everyone else. And it was like the ramen double dip, like 5K. And like, I got goosebumps at that. I was like, because Mike has brought us all together here. This is the podcast cruise. He started the podcast. And I mean, you don't need the attention. This is not something you're asking for, but like, I just thought it was the awesome gesture. So like when we all finished the race, Phil had a medal for us that just had your name on it with like the Be Our Guest lizard logo and that. I wish I had it hanging right here. I'd show it right now in the video, but like, it is one of my favorite medals that I have. And it was just because of this group, the podcast group, man. It was just amazing.
I have it hanging over, just on my medal rack, and it's always on the outside. I always see it because of great memories, because of what Phil did, and because it was for the Give Kids the World. We raised a ton of money for the village, and I was super humbled by that. And I remember because, again, that was back when the 5K was still organized and everybody was running it together. So it was a big group of our lizards, but also a ton of people from the ship that was our fantasy cruise 7-nighter. Yeah, and a ton of people were just running it like off the ship. And so like as the lizards are finishing, Phil's like standing at the finish line, right? Not only are we getting the rubber like 5K medal, but like he's handing out this like real like gold medal. I mean, it's not real gold, but it's like real fake gold medal, like you get from Run Disney. Yeah. So we're getting this bling bling metal, and like people are like, I want that one. No, you don't get that one. You're not a lizard. Like it was
That's right. There was some confusion around that. That's
people
right.
were wanting that metal. Like, no, you're not a lizard. You don't get that one. It was, but I mean, it was, because he got these made back on land that he brought because we had so many lizards sell with us. So he knew exactly how many people were doing this, and like, we're doing pictures and everything, on the island. It was a whole thing. But I will say, and getting back to Phil, I got to tell you, it kind of really started with Phil for me, like my whole journey with this running. Because I remember we were on the very first podcast cruise, right? And we were on Castaway Key and we were doing the 5K. And I told him, like, I went out there and I'm like, dude, I cannot run 5K. I was like, there is no way. It is hot and I am not a runner. And he's like, dude, I remember Phil, I know not everybody knows Phil Scheingold, but Phil Scheingold, and just like Mike Bankhead, just the most kind person, the most patient person, low key, like opposite of me, will not talk your head off, but just will say the most kind thing at the right time. And
and Phil is very soft spoken. He's like very quiet the way he
very
like,
quiet.
Yeah.
Very witty though. Like just very funny too. But he's out there and just like with me, he's like, look, he's like, here's what we're gonna do. He's like, we're gonna run a little bit and we're gonna walk a little bit. He's like, you're gonna run just a little bit. He's like, and when you get tired, we're gonna walk a little bit. He's like, and you know what? Eventually we're gonna be to 3.1 miles and we're gonna be done with this sucker. And we did. Like it took like 50 minutes, I think. Like, because it was, back then, like the clock like had a, like they started the clock and we got to the end, like the clock told you your time and everything at the end. But I remember like I was super proud that like I was with Phil. Phil never left me. And I'll tell you what, Phil was with me for many, many other Run Disney races over the next like 10, 12, 15 years. He's been there. But he did not leave me on the island that very first time. And we ran, we walked, we talked, and he got me in. And that was like my very, very first taste of running was on the island at that hot, hot July day in the Bahamas.
So what we can do is blame Phil for this, the amount of money that you spent on Run Disney races.
Yes, my back and my legs and my knees and everything else, but that's just my addictive personality. But yes, Phil Scheingold has just been an inspiration to me. So
yeah, I need to. If I don't even know if they listen to all the episodes or download them anymore, but like, and I text them a lot too. But like, I told them like next time we're there, I need to see them, like, because we were just there over, Thanksgiving, and I missed out on seeing them. Like they're family to us too. I need to reach out to them next time because they live down there too. Like they're really easy to get a hold of. Man, they're awesome. I just love our podcast family so much.
Yeah, and as we wrap, one of the other
things make me want to book a podcast cruise. I'm just saying, like I got cruise fever, man. Like,
hey, you're gonna have a bounce back or a placeholder soon. So
that's true. Yeah,
there you go for July. So as we wrap this up, one of the things that I miss because of circumstances, like you just said, and we could tell these stories forever. Just kind of, again, this is that week where not much is happening, so we just thought we'd get together, just kind of tell stories. We used to do this thing, and it was again put on by the Scheingolds and the Del Princes and a lot of other folks, the Indie Disney meet. And going with Give Kids the World, like we would go out to Fishers, Indiana, and it started real small in like a little 4-H kind of fairgrounds. And then it got bigger to a bigger venue. And it was so much fun. It was basically like a little potluck. People would bring, crock pots full of food and you'd order pizza. And then, Yeehaw Bob came out and, you had stormtroopers from the 501st and silent auctions and all kinds of stuff and podcasters and, travel agents and all kinds of stuff. But, that was great. Now it's kind of turned into, we go down to Give Kids the World and do a 6-hour live show, which we'll do in March. But, again, it was always great because so many of our listeners would come out from all around the Midwest and say hello and just a great time there. So but everybody from Indiana got smart and said, forget the cold weather in this wintertime. We're moving to Florida.
So many of them live in Florida now.
They're out. They're like, nope, we're moving. And if you walk through Coronado Springs, half the time they're working from the old check-in desk area. I'm just saying, you see them every time. I see Aaron all the time. Like, hey, what's up? You here all the time? I don't know about you, but I always see Aaron working from there.
Yeah, I've seen Aaron quite a few times. One time he just spotted me in the Magic Kingdom. I was like, whoa, you don't have your laptop with you. What's going on here, buddy?
What's going on? So I think we got to jump out of here because we're almost out. You got anything else though you want to add as we
dude, I have thousands of stories. I want to share them all. Like I really do. Like this is just so much fun, but we'll save those for another time or for the book, right? You should make a book, man. My Disney tales.
I mean, it's almost 17 years of memories at this point, that I never thought this would last a year, but here we are. But hey, Sunday night though, we can get together and people can call in and we can, if they have stories, we have stories for sure.
We have plenty of stories, but yeah, this is fun. A great way to wrap up that week. And are we wrapping up the week? Like, what day is it? This is that time of year, right? You have no idea what day of the week it is.
I know it
Football
is,
games are
but it's
happening. Like, I thought football was on Saturday. How can it be a Tuesday? You know, it's so confusing.
that is the greatest thing about this time of the year. Like it could be like Monday at noon and you turn on, there's like the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It's like, yes, I don't care who it is. You know, if it's the Roadrunners from South Dakota State or the San Antonio, who cares? It's football. Like
Yeah,
guys,
but then it makes you wonder, like, is it Saturday? Like, what day is it? Like, am I supposed to be at work or not? Like, I don't even know. But
no,
yeah, it's awesome.
no, you don't have to be at work. I mean, even if you are at work, you eat Christmas cookies from your desk and
There you go.
over everything. All right, we're going to jump out of here, but we will be back together on Sunday night with the phone lines open. So we'll need your calls. So please be a part of the show as we get ready to close out 2024. That'll be at 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Give us a call and we'll talk to you then. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are standing by to help you plan a great Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. So a huge thank you to you for that. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week, usually on Sundays, called Mike in the Midwest. So come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow me on the social media at beourguestmike. You can follow Scott at Epscott, EPSCOT, and make sure this weekend, get over there. Check out Must See Adventures on YouTube. Scott, one more time, what's going on over on the YouTube channel?
We're wrapping up our European cruise. It feels like it was like a half a year ago that we did that. I'm just getting, I'm trying to speed up the editing, but like, yeah, if you could just like and subscribe, I think it's a lot of fun. We share some goofy memories. You get to see like how my family interacts a little more closely. Plus, we show you some great stuff at the destinations we go to. But yeah, we're posting a day in Spain and another day at sea, our 4th day at sea, because this is a 14-night trip basically. So a lot of fun there, and pretty soon we'll have some Disneyland Paris content for you in January.
Do those churros make the cut on the video?
The churros, the Spain, like the Choco de Lechero or something, like I don't know. Like Emily will pronounce them correctly. I butcher it, because like she speaks Spanish pretty good.
Because those things looked killer. And
dude, the cup of chocolate, like
oh my God.
I think at the end, I don't have video of this, but like we didn't get the churro, the chocolate ratio just right. So there's like leftover chocolate. I just picked up that cup and started drinking it. It was so dang good. Like, oh man, so
represent
good.
The USA, baby.
There we go. But it's a lot of fun. I think this audience will really like the videos because it's just travel, and like Mike's going to be in some episodes in the future too, so it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Nice. All right, so check that out. Must See Adventures. Subscribe and like over on YouTube this weekend. All right, we're going to get out of here, and of course, we'll be back again on Sunday night and keep the shows rolling. So if you don't mind, also give us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. That helps people find our show. And we love finding new folks to join our community. And also, I keep forgetting to remind folks, we love when people join us over in the clubhouse. It's our free Discord server. It's our bulletin boards. It's our message boards. And we have a great time over there posting GIFs and memes. And we talk football during the football games. We post Christmas cookie pictures. We just talk about life over there. It's just a lot of fun. It is. It's a ton. So come on over. It's beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, we're jumping out of here. We'll be back on Sunday. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Friday. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty, good stuff. I hope your head feels better. We got
actually, this is actually helping a little bit. So this is why I needed to see my bro and talk some Disney, man.
That was the most random show of all time.
Wasn't that ever the most random show?
We're talking about it. Like, let's talk about
I'll be curious what people think. I mean, dude, there's so many stories we could share. It'd be fun. Like, I just worry about like, oh my God, have I shared this story before? But I know new listeners pop in too. But
yeah, I mean, it's like the time to do it though. It's like the Friday of Christmas week. Nobody's taking anything seriously. Because I mean,
no Disney news is happening.
Yeah, there's no Disney news, so
yeah,
whatever. It's a good time to throw it.
That was fun. That was a good episode for sure.
All right, we'll go.
Probably just you and me next week too. I'm guessing. I don't even know.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to. We'll try. So I have a show on Thursday at 6. I already scheduled a guy because I had to move him from Wednesday because I had him on Wednesday. I had him on Christmas. I just scheduled. I just pushed it to Thursday. But we'll squeeze in that second trip because I want to stack my Monday shows so that when I go to marathon weekend. But yeah, next Monday, let's me and you do it again because Ricky might be back.
She might be back. Yeah, we'll just see. We'll
For sure,
find
me
out.
and you though.
Yeah, sounds
But yeah,
good.
we'll figure it out. But we'll squeeze in that other show sometime
Yeah,
somewhere.
no
Maybe not.
worries.
We'll
I
figure
mean,
it
it's
out.
always good to just have a backup in case if someone bails, But
For real. I
yeah,
know. But we can always get it done quick.
yeah,
All right, we'll
sounds good.
go chill and have some dinner.
Yeah, I think
leave-
I think we're just doing like spaghetti and meatballs here at home tonight. It's
that
just kind
sounds
of
good.
chill. Yeah,
All right. I'm gonna go
and
see
video editing.
you. All
All right, we'll see you.
right, see you.
Have a good night. Night, everyone.
Bye, guys.